Hey there, I'm Tyler Lunsford, and you're watching a review of Invictus Magic and Suit and Tie Effects Sven Pro deck. What is up, people? My name is Tyler Lunsford, and welcome back to another magic trick review here on the channel. Now, if you're new here, then definitely please consider subscribing and take a look around the channel at my past reviews. Now, if you are new here, then welcome. Thank you for stopping by and spending some time in today. I really do appreciate it, because you didn't have to do that, but I'm glad you did. So thanks for being here, and I hope you learn more about the Sven Pro deck by the time this video is over. Now, if you do want to purchase this after this video is over, or you want to find out more information about it, or the Svengali deck in general, the links for that are in the description down below. Now, I don't want to waste any more time. I want to go ahead and get straight into this review right now. First off, you need to know what actually is the Sven Pro deck. Well, this is an upgrade to the original Svengali deck that's been around for ages. It was originally created back in 1909, and now you have an update to this classic. If you don't know what a Svengali deck is, that's okay. I'll leave a link in the description down below so that way you can check out what the deck actually is, how it was created, and all sorts of stuff like that. But if you do know what a Svengali deck is, then this will mean something to you. I'm going to be talking about the differences real quick between the two decks, a Svengali deck and a Sven Pro deck. Now, the main difference here is the size of the cuts. That's right, the cuts have been narrowed down so small to where you barely can even notice these cuts if they're in a deck of cards. Now, these cards are actually cut short ways and long ways, and on the corners. And the corners are also rounded, which with normal Svengali decks, some of them are rounded, some of them aren't. But the cuts are usually longer and they kind of stick out a little bit more, but you don't have to worry about that with this deck. You can also riffle shuffle this deck, so you can do a standard riffle shuffle, do like a bridge, whatever you like to do, and then these cards are still going to stay in the Svengali deck order and they won't mess up with the pairs that they're in. Now, the Svengali deck is one of my favorite gimmick decks in Magic. It's something that comes in so many beginner kits and all that stuff, so you really learn it usually when you're first getting into Magic or you know about it or something like that. But this deck is really good. It's a step up from the original Svengali deck, and I can't wait to tell you more about it. What will you be receiving if you decide to purchase the Sven Pro deck? We'll be getting a Sven Pro deck, obviously, and you get to choose whether you want red or blue, and it's going to come in the rider back bicycle design. You also get a tutorial video that's about 40 minutes long, and on there you learn the differences between a regular Svengali deck and the Sven Pro deck. You also learn some additional tips and tricks on how to handle the deck, and you also learn a bunch of different routines. You learn a mind reading effect, a prediction effect, a card to impossible location effect, ambitious card with variations, an Acon, a Svenwich, which is a sandwich, if you couldn't tell, and you learn the fingertip change, which is their favorite. Now that you know what the Sven Pro deck is, let's talk more in depth about some questions you may have, such as how difficult is it to use? It's actually really easy to use. If you've ever handled a Svengali deck, then this is even easier to use than that, because like of all the stuff I mentioned before with the smaller cuts and all sorts of things like that, it makes the deck easier to handle all around. And you can even now riffle shuffle it, creating even more convincing routines that you can create. Is this examinable? Now, I don't think I really have to ask this question, but I always ask it in all my reviews, so I'll answer it in this one. No, the deck is not examinable because you are using a gimmick deck. The entire deck is gimmicked. Well, I guess half the deck is gimmicked, but you can't let them hold the deck because they would obviously find what's going on with this. So no, the deck is not examinable, but with that riffle shuffle that I keep mentioning, I think you can create some strong convincers to where they wouldn't really need to handle the deck, so that always kind of eliminates that possibility. Is there any setup you have to do once you receive your Sven Pro deck? No, there's actually no setup you have to do. The deck comes ready to go out of the box. All you have to do is watch the videos, learn how to use it, and then you'll be good to go. There's also no setup they have to do per performance or anything, because the deck basically resets itself every time you use it. Are there any negatives when using the Sven Pro deck? Honestly, not really. The biggest negative I'm sure that people have is just that it's a gimmick deck, but if you're using a Svengali deck, then you're already going to be using a gimmick deck that's not examinable. So that's not really specific to this deck, just the Svengali deck in general, so not really any negatives with this specific deck. I actually really like a lot of things about it. What are the positives to using this Sven Pro deck? Well, I love that they included so many routines to get you started. I also love the upgrades that this has from the original Svengali deck. Now, it is a little pricey. It's about almost three times more than a regular Svengali deck, but I absolutely think that's worth the price for all the things you can do with it. You can dribble it by the corners to show that all the cards are the same, or you can dribble it by the corners to show that all the cards are different, but I'm just saying you can dribble by the corners, you can dribble by the sides. There's so many different things, and you don't have to worry about directions now because every way is cut, so you don't have to worry about that. So I just love all the upgrades. I love that you can riffle shuffle it. So many good things about this. I really can't say enough good things about it. I really like this deck. What does this retail as? Well, this currently retails as $20 US, and is that a fair price? Honestly, yes, I don't think it should be any more than that. But if you're getting a Svengali deck that's been cut, you know, hand cut, hand crafted, precise precision cuts, wow, that was a lot of words right there. But you're getting a deck that really does have these precision cuts and they're really short. All the upgrades make it worth the price. I'd say absolutely it's worth this price. Wouldn't pay more for it, but I think this is a fair price for it. What would I give this out of 10? I'm going to give this a 9.8 out of 10. It's getting a great score for me because I really do like it. The only reason I took off 0.2 is because the deck's not examinable, but that's standard with all Svengali decks. If we're just rating this on a level of Svengali decks in general, this gets a perfect score. There's so many good things about this. It's going to get a 10 out of 10 if we're just talking about Svengali decks. So 9.8 in general, but a 10 out of 10 as far as Svengali decks are concerned. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you'd like to purchase this Sven Pro deck, then I'll leave the link below in the description down below where you can check that out if you want more information on how to buy and all sorts of stuff like that. But also in the description is a link to my Instagram page. There you can follow me on Instagram at TowerLunchardMagic. There I post all sorts of original magic. Maybe it's me performing a trick that I've reviewed, or you get some behind the scenes access and you get to ask questions and know about stuff that's coming up on the channel. So thanks so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for spending your time with me because you didn't have to, but I'm glad you did. So thanks for that. And also thank you to Suit and Tie Effects for sending me this as well so I could do this review for you people out there. So thanks once again for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in another review that I post sometime soon. See ya!